ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधरा श्रीवासादि श्री गौर भक्तवृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। So Hare Krishna, dear friends. So yesterday in our last session we had read till 44th verse of the first chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, observing the armies on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. So now two more verses are remaining in this first chapter. So let us take them in this session. Let us read them and try to understand various spiritual concepts from the purports and translation of His Divine Grace Abhay Charana Arvinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So in the last verse, 44th verse, we had seen that Arjunji is very much distressed and he is saying, Aho bat mahat papam kartum vyavasthita vayam yad raj sukha lobhena hantum swajanam udyataha. How strange it is, alas, how strange it is that we are preparing to commit greatly sinful acts driven by the desire to enjoy royal happiness. So wonderful verses, and the next verse is also another very beautiful verse, both the verses 45th and 46th. So Arjunji is continuing. Arjunji is continuing, and the 45th verse, another very beautiful verse. Arjunji is saying, Yadi mam pratikaram shastram shastrapanayah यदि माम प्रतिकारं शस्त्रं शस्त्रपाणयः धार्तराष्ट्रारणे हन्युस्तन्मे क्षेमतरं भवेत्। यदि माम प्रतिकारं शस्त्रं शस्त्रपाणयः धार्तराष्ट्रारणे हन्युस्तन्मे क्षेमतरं भवेत्। क्षेमतरं भवेत्, it is better, it will be better. Yadi mam apratikaram, yadi, even if, mam, unto me, apratikaram, without being resistant, ashastram, without being fully equipped, shastrapanayah, those with weapons in hand, dhartarashtraha, the sons of Dhritarashtra, rane, in the battlefield, hanyu, may kill, tat, that, me, mine, shemataram, better, bhavet, become. I would consider it better for the sons of Dhritarashtra, Dhartarashtra, to kill me unarmed, ashastram, and unresisting, apratikaram, not showing any pratikar. I would consider it better for the sons of Dhritarashtra to kill me unarmed and unresisting rather than fight with them. So now Arjunji has declared, I would consider it better for the sons of Dhritarashtra to kill me unarmed. I am not going to take my weapons, or I am not going to fight with them, and I would consider it better for the sons of Dhritarashtra to kill me unarmed and unresisting. Apratikaram, ashastram, unarmed. apratikaram, unresisting rather than fight with them. So Arjunji has now decided that he is not going to fight with the opposite party, the sons of Dhritarashtra and their well-wishers. So in the purport, Swami Srila Prabhupada writes, it is the custom according to Kshatriya fighting principles that an unarmed and unwilling foe should not be attacked. Wonderful. Arjuna, however, in such an enigmatic position, decided he would not fight if he were attacked by the enemy. He did not consider how much the other party was bent upon fighting all these symptoms. He did not consider how much the other party was bent upon fighting. All these symptoms are due to soft-heartedness resulting from his being a great devotee of the Lord. So wonderful purport and many concepts, and how we can see exalted people were in the previous ages. It is a custom according to the Kshatriya fighting principles. So they used to fight also with principles, that an unarmed and unwilling foe, if the enemy is unarmed and if the enemy is unwilling to fight, then he should not be attacked. So that was the custom, and those were the principles which were followed. And truly speaking, nobody has the right to take anyone's life, because life is being given by God unless and until the opposite, the person who is fighting is an aggressor. Then the scriptures, so without being authorized, unless authorized by the Supreme Lord or by the higher authorities, by transcendently realized authorities, the spiritual master or saints, one should not kill anybody. And fighting was also mainly done just to ascertain who is better. So in that sporting spirit, in that way, but of course here the fight is not in that sporting spirit. They have assembled to kill each other, and the one who will be victorious will get the kingdom. So it is a very Swami Srila Prabhupada, Arjuna, however, in such an enigmatic position, very very puzzling, enigmatic position, decided he would not fight if he were attacked by the enemy. So that was the Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Swami Srila Prabhupada writes, all these symptoms are due to soft-heartedness resulting from his being a great devotee of the Lord. Because Arjunji is a great devotee of the Supreme Lord and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has recommended, these are the symptoms of a devotee. Tranadapi sunichena tarorapi sahishuna. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Lord Shri Krishna, in his avatara as Lord Chaitanya, in the mood of Radharani, so that is the mood of Radharani. Trinadapi Sunichena, and she has requested, the mother has requested all the sons, those who are on the path of sadhana bhakti, regulated devotional service, those who are practicing, those who are aspiring devotees, those who are aspiring to go back to Godhead, those who are aspiring to purify their hearts of all contaminations, those who have taken to devotional service or devotional life seriously, or chanting of the holy names of the Lord seriously in their life, they should practice forbearance and tolerance. They should practice forbearance and tolerance as like trees and grass. Even if cut, they don't resist. Unresisting. So here we can see they don't resist. Even if trembled, the grass, they don't resist. Rather, the grass gives comfort to the person who trembles on that grass. So, Trinad api sunichena, Trinad api sunichena, Taror api sahishuna, Amanina manadena kirtaniya sada harihi. So, if somebody want to do kirtan in his life, so this is the principle. Somebody want to chant the holy name Sada, then he should give respect to Amanina manadena, Trinadapi sunichena, Tarorapi, Taror like tree. One should be as tolerant as tree, as humble as a blade of grass. So these are the same symptoms. Big Swami Srila Prabhupada is writing, all these symptoms are due to soft-heartedness resulting from his being a great devotee. Kshatriyas, Lord Sri Krishna will explain in the further chapters, in the 18th chapter, the Swabhava, the nature of the Kshatriyas. Guna Karma Vibhagashaha, Lord Sri Krishna says, Chaturvarnam, the four Varnas, Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, Shudraha. So they are as per their Swabhava, Guna and their Karma. So Lord Sri Krishna describes Shauryam Tejo Dhritir Dakshyam Yuddhe Cha Api Apalayanam. Shauryam Tejo Dhritir Dakshyam. So Kshatriya by nature, they are Shauryam, Tejo, heroism, Tejo, Dakshyam, expert, and Dhritir, very much determined. Yuddhe cha apalayanam, they cannot show their back. A real Kshatriya would prefer to die in the battle rather than showing his back and running away from fighting. If challenged, if there is a fight, then a Kshatriya would never show his back or will run away to save his life. Yuddhe cha palayanam, danam ishvara bhavascha shatram karma svabhavajam. So Lord Shri Krishna will explain. So these are the qualities of a Kshatriya, and Arjunji being a great Kshatriya, being a great devotee of the Lord, he is also a great Kshatriya. So he possesses all these qualities. Shauryam, Tejo, Dhritir, Dakshyam, Yuddhecha Palayanam. And that's why he's saying, will not run from the fight. He is not saying all these things because he is in a fearful situation. No. He is not declining to fight because he is afraid of being killed. No. He is saying, if unarmed, unresisting, they kill me. The sons of Dhritarashtra kill me unarmed and unresisting. I would consider it better. Rather than to fight with them. Because I have lot of affection, all they are very dear to me. And when they will not be there, with whom I will enjoy the kingdom, what use the kingdom will be for us, O Krishna. So Arjunji is saying all these things not because he is afraid, or he is not a good Kshatriya. No, he is saying because he is a great devotee of the Supreme Lord and he has all those qualities, forbearance, tolerance, as recommended by Lord Chaitanya. One should consciously practice in one's day-to-day life. But Arjunji is already possessing all those qualities, and that's why Lord Shri Krishna is present with him. Such a big thing. The Supreme Lord, the protector of religion, the protector of dharma, is actually taking service. Nimitt matra. Bhavasabhyasachi, we'll see in the few later verses. Truly speaking, Lord Shri Krishna is accepting that service. All the four varnas are supposed to serve the Supreme Lord by their actions, by their respective duties, by their respective work and actions. They are supposed to serve the Supreme Lord. Every living entity, Lord Chaitanya has Jivera Sarup hai Nitya Krishna er Das. Every living entity is a servant of the Supreme Lord. Every son is a servant of the Father. Every ansha, each limb of the body is actually a servant of the whole. Atman or the self is subordinate and is a servant of the super self, super soul, supreme self. So these are the wonderful qualities, forbearance and tolerance, that Arjunji is able to speak, and not he is speaking, he really mean that. He is not only speaking, he really mean that I would consider it better yadi mama pratikaram ashastram shastrapanayah dhartarashtra rane hanyustan me shemataram bhavet. I would consider it better if they kill me unarmed, unresisting, rather than to fight with them. So, very wonderful verse and wonderful concept. Now in the Kali Yuga, people, they just want to kill the enemy at any cost. But these were the exalted principles, and those were in the previous ages. People were so exalted. Unarmed and unwilling foe should not be attacked. It is said that when Kali, we get the information from Srimad Bhagavatam, when Parikshit Maharaj, he was about to kill the personification of all vices, Kali, who was dressed in black garments, and when he was about to kill him, so at that time he took his shelter, and because Kali took the shelter of he surrendered and he pleaded, and so Parikshit Maharaj decided not to kill him, even though he know that, but thinking it as the will of the Supreme Lord, that every living entity belong to the Supreme Lord, and the Lord has a plan, and he know from the authorities that in the future the Kali Yuga, this age is going to deteriorate more and more, but still he tried his best to stop the personality of Kali, and he even he attempted to kill him, to save the world, to save the age, Kali Yuga. But that was the will of the Supreme Lord when he took shelter of Parikshit Maharaj. even Parikshit Maharaj being an exalted Kshatriya, and he also, as per the principles, as per the fighting principles of the Kshatriya, as it is the custom, Swami Srila Prabhupada is writing, it is a custom according to Kshatriya fighting principles that an unarmed and unwilling foe should not be attacked. So Parikshit Maharaj did not attack or kill the personality of Kali, and that's how he was saved, and by the will of the Supreme Lord, because somewhere, it is also mentioned in the scriptures that there are many their souls who were very sinful in their previous lives, and they did not have gross bodies, but they, because of their desires, their unfulfilled material desires, they were in distress for long time, and it is Lord, the Supreme Lord, give them opportunity to have bodies and fulfill their desires, because every living entity is part and parcel of the Supreme Being, Supreme Lord, and a father is compassionate towards all his sons, even if they are very rotten or very fallen. Then also all the bhutas and pretas, we see that they go to Lord Shiva, who is Swami Srila Prabhupada explains, in this material world is an is as good as in one way, but he has taken the charge of the Swami Srila Prabhupada mentions Lord Sri Krishna and Lord Shiva, like milk and yogurt. So because the living entity has fallen, so Lord has also accepted a lower form which is above Tatashta Shakti, Antaranga, Bahiranga, but he is in between both the external and the internal energy. So Lord Shiva, so he is also in that way. So he blesses the various ghosts and souls loitering in the ghostly bodies and suffering from long time. So Lord Shiva or Lord Sri Krishna in that way, because everything is being sanctioned by the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. So seeing their sufferings, and they give them an opportunity, because the Kali Yuga is of very short duration, and the people are also very short lived, only 100 years. So they give chance to, so most of such souls who have lot of material desires and such tendencies, sinful tendencies, they take birth in Kali Yuga, because the Kali Yuga is of very short duration, and the age of people is also very less, so they get in. But if anyone, of course not all, but yeah, the maximum population who is born in Kali Yuga are in the mode of passion, ignorance, and many sinful souls also take birth. And as the time will progress, in the later days, only such as Arjunji is also describing, so the Kali Yuga, all those things are mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam, how things will deteriorate. So anyways, so we saw that wonderful quality which is very difficult to find in this age of Kali Yuga. But Lord Chaitanya has asked all of us that we should consciously practice. We should try to give respect to everyone, even if they don't respect us. But of course it is not very easy to come to that platform, but one should practice. And slowly and gradually, when we will be cleansed from all the unwanted dirty things from our heart, then someday we can hope that someday we can also possess such wonderful qualities and real compassion for ourselves and others. We can have real compassion and we can work to do real benefit to our own self and to others. So wonderful verse. And the next verse, the last verse of the first chapter. So Sanjay ji, Dhritarashtra, we saw in the first verse, Dhritarashtra ji, he asked Sanjay ji, his secretary, and Sanjay ji is narrating all this and all the conversations which are happening in the battlefield. Duryodhan ji, what he is saying and what Arjun ji is saying. Now the last verse of the first chapter, Sanjay ji is describing to Dhritarashtra. So 46th verse, another very beautiful verse. Sanjaya vacha evam uktva Arjunah shankhaye rathopastupavishat. एवम् उक्त्वा अर्जुनः शङ्खये रथोपस्तुपाविशत् विसृज्य सशरं चापं शोकसंविघ्नमानसः. विसृज्य सशरं चापं शोकसंविघ्नमानसः. वंडरफुल वर्स. संजय वाचा एवम् उक्त्वा अर्जुनः शङ्खे रथोपस्तुपाविशत् विसृज्य सशरं चापं शोकसंविघ्नमानसः. Sanjaya vacha. Sanjaya said, evam, thus, uktva, saying, Arjuna, sankhe, in the battlefild, ratha, chariot, upasthita, situated on, upavishat, sat down again, visrij, keeping aside, sa sharam, along with arrows, chapam, the bow, shoka, lamentation, samvigna, distressed, manasaha, within the mind, shoka samvigna manasaha, lamentation, distressed, shoka samvigna manasaha. Eva muktva arjuna sankhe, eva muktva arjuna sankhe rathopastupavishat visrajya sasharam chapam shoka samvigna manasaha. Sanjaya said, Arjuna, having thus spoken on the battlefield, cast aside his bow and arrows and sat down on the chariot, his mind overwhelmed with grief. So wonderful verse. Arjuna, having thus spoken, so many things Arjunji spoke, so many arguments Arjunji gave for to prove or to convince Lord Shri Krishna that the war is not fruitful, is of no use and is unworthy. So many arguments Arjunji gave, and having thus spoken on the battlefield, cast aside his bow and arrows and sat down on the chariot, his mind overwhelmed with grief. Shoka samvigna manasaha. So Arjunji is in grief and he cast aside his bow and arrows. Chapa, sasharam chapam, visrajya, he leaves, he cast aside, he keep them aside on the chariot and sat down on the chariot. Sorry. Om Haraya Namaha. So having thus spoken on the battlefield, So Arjunji, having thus spoken on the battlefield, cast aside his bow and arrow and sat down on the chariot, his mind overwhelmed with grief. So in the purport, Swami Srila Prabhupada writes, while observing the situation of his enemy, Arjuna stood up on the chariot. While observing the situation of his enemy, Arjuna stood up on the chariot, but he was so afflicted and with lamentation that he sat down again, setting aside his bow and arrows. Such a kind and soft-hearted person is in devotional service of the Lord, is fit to receive self-knowledge. So wonderful points